What is going on, internet? My name is JB, and I am here today with my week 1 match in the PBL, or Professional Battlers League. And today we are taking on RisingStarDylan and the Richmond Raikous. His link will be in the description if you want to go see his POV of this battle. I'm sure it'll be great. I want to let you guys in on a little fun fact, though. Also, ignore the dog hair on this hoodie. But this is the second time I'm recording this video because when I first recorded it like 4 or 5 days ago, I did not realize I was wearing a green hoodie. And doesn't go so well with the green screen when you got a green hoodie and your arms are just floating everywhere. I mean, it was pretty funny, but even I'm not that unprofessional. Probably should have just uploaded it. It was freaking, it was kind of funny. I'm probably should have just uploaded that. You guys would have laughed at me. I would have laughed at me. But hey, we're going, this is the Professional Battlers League. We got to be professionals. I should honestly be wearing a tie. I don't even think I own a tie. Never mind. Anyway, yeah, let's just get into the teams here. Dylan has actually a pretty solid squad. It has a few mons that are just like terrifying for my team to deal with, but the weird thing about his team, to me anyway, is that he does not have a Mega or a Z Crystal. Now, you'd have to ask him about that. I don't know, like, if that was intentional or not, but hey, you know. I can understand not having a Mega in a draft, like, to some extent, because I've won a league without having a Mega on my team. But not having a Z Crystal in a league where you have to draft a Z Crystal just seems a little bit odd. I don't know, maybe that's intentional, maybe he, you know, whatever. I'm not gonna make any sort of assumptions there. But let's just go ahead and go over his team real quick. He has a Nidoking, a Galvantula, a Alolan Marowak, Weavile, Espeon, Gliscor, Sylveon, Cofagrigus, regular Lopunny, Zapdos, Cobalion, and Vaporeon. So a lot of Eon Mons. But the biggest issue, the biggest threat, the scariest Mon, in my opinion, is in fact this here Cobalion. I have very little to switch into this thing. I'm using it over in the NADL, so you guys know how much of a threat it can be. But man, this thing is actually really hard for the team I have to switch into. It's just because its stabs hit so freaking hard, and then it also has Stone Edge to cover that, because like my only real switch in is like Bug type, which you guys saw what I'm bringing. But yeah, this thing is just hard for my team to switch into. Zapdos is another mon that's just notoriously annoying to deal with in Draft League. It's just hard to kill, doesn't like to die. Just look at this bulk. It doesn't seem like the bulkiest thing in the world, but it just doesn't die, man. And then of course he has annoying wish mons with like Vaporeon and Sylveon and his other evolution Espeon. But yeah, Nidoking can be scary, but I mean, it's not the fastest thing in the world. I have a ton of ways of revenge killing it. If it's Scarf, it could be an issue, but I mean, Life Orb is obviously more likely. I don't want to say it's like obvious, but it's more likely, I'd say. Life Orb rather than Scarf or something like that. Gliscor is another mon that's just really annoying to kill, and then Weavile is just hard to prep for because it just hits so hard. But let's just go ahead and go over my team really quickly. We have ourselves an Underminer, our Excadrill, rocking the Assault Vest with the moves Earthquake, Iron Head, Rapid Spin, and Rock Slide. The 151 speed is for timid Nidoking, so I outspeed that, unless it is, of course, Scarf, which would be scarier, like I said a second ago. But if he's not Scarf, I outspeed and kill with an Earthquake. I decided to go AV over something like Air Balloon or Leftovers or Life Orb or something, just because it helps me take hits from like his random special attackers better. Like, I live to at least guaranteed 2 Heat Waves from defensive Zapdos. I live hits from Vaporeon. I live 2 Scalds from Vaporeon. Well, 1.5. Well, I died to the second one, but I get an Earthquake off at least. I get 2 Earthquakes off because I outspeed, but I died to the second Scald. Sylveon, I live hits from it better, even HP fires. The only thing that like it really doesn't help with is Nidoking, because I still get one shot by Sheer Force boosted Earth Power, but I take hits from Galvantula, Espeon. Like, I just take hits from his like I said, his other special attackers better. So that's why we're rocking Assault Vest. Rock Slide obviously for the Zapdos, and then Iron Head pretty much for Sylveon and whatever else. But Earthquake Slam is going to be pretty good against them, I have a feeling. And then, of course, like I said, Rock Slide for Zapdos is essential, so I actually have something to hit that monster. Next up, we have 2%, our Miltank with the leftovers. The moves are Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Milk Drink, and Toxic. I decided to bring Stealth Rock on this over Excadrill so I could go ahead and run a Sylvester. Originally, I had Rocks on Excadrill, but decided to go against that just so I could have a little bit more versatility on my Excadrill, but I do still have Spin on it, which, I mean, is, whatever. Earthquake there. I had to decide what I wanted to get walled by. If I wanted to get walled by Zapdos or Cofagrigus. So if I put Earthquake, I get walled by Zapdos, which I do. If I put Body Slam, I get walled by Cofagrigus. So I had to decide. I decided that getting walled by Zapdos was a little bit easier for me to deal with because I take hits from Zapdos better. Plus, I have a few other ways of hitting Zapdos. I don't have as much to hit Cofagrigus, so I decided to have just a move here to hit it. Could have put Crunch or something. You don't even get Crunch, do you? No, yeah, whatever. And plus, Earthquake just hits things like Nidoking better. Hits Marowak, Cobalion, if I'm ever in that weird situation like that. Which, let's pray I'm not. I can hit the Roosting Zapdos if I need to, or something like that. So yeah, I just felt like Earthquake was the best option for an attack there. Also, Stealth Rock are so important in this game that they allow, most notably, the only calc that's really worth mentioning is they allow, after Rocks, V-Create from my Victini to one-shot a defensive Zapdos. So that's why Rocks are so huge. So I kind of need to get Rocks up if I want to one-shot Zapdos. Probably don't need to one-shot Zapdos, but it's an option there that if I need to, if I have that option available to me, then I'm obviously going to go for it. Speaking of Victini, we have Vicky Vale, our Victini, with the Choice Scarf. Moves are V-Create, Zen Headbutt, Bolt Strike, and U-Turn. Bolt Strike, obviously, for Vaporeon. Zen Headbutt for Stab. And then the main move here is obviously V-Create. I want to show you guys something other than Vaporeon and what else was it? Other than Vaporeon and Marowak, V-Create two-shots everything on his team. One-shots most of it. One-shots Nidoking, one-shots Galvantula, one-shots Weavile, one-shots Espeon, two-shots Gliscor. Even after Rocks, his Gliscor is bulky. One-shot Sylveon, because it's Spadef, yeah. That's a one-shot Cofagrigus, but two shots Cofagrigus, obviously destroys Lopunny. Two shots Zapdos, but like I said, after Rocks, it's a one-shot. So, hey, one-shot's Cobalion, and then, Vaporeon obviously doesn't care because it's a Vaporeon. But yeah, V-Create just does so much damage to his team that it's insane. The 130 speed is so I outspeed Jolly Weavile at 195, so I hit 196 with this. What I should have done, but didn't realize until after getting my team gen, is I should have done... I don't know if that's enough now. I should have done this. So after my first V-Create, I still outsped the Nidoking afterwards. Because I would drop down to 151 speed because I'm Scarf. I'd drop down to 151 speed and then still be able to outspeed the Nidoking after my speed drop from V-Create. So that's what I should have done. Did not do. Would have been cool. Would have been smart. But that's something that that's a mistake I made early in the league. So later on in coming weeks, I can fix that mistake. That's pretty cool. I like the tech. Next up, we have Dahlia, our Mega Gardevoir, with the moves Hyper Voice, Size Shock, Hidden Power Ice, and Taunt. I taunt quite a bit of his team, actually. I'm faster than most of it, outside of Cobalion and Zapdos and Weavile. I outspeed, and Galvantula. I outspeed everything else. And get off a Taunt. I don't think Lopunny too, but I'm not scared of Lopunny in the slightest, honestly. But I taunt Vaporeon, Taunt Cofagrigus, Taunt Sylveon, Taunt Gliscor, Marowak. I don't outspeed Espeon either, but yeah. I taunt a lot of his team. I actually have enough speed for max speed Gliscor. That's what that speed is for. And I two-shot with HPS. Actually, I think I one-shot with HPS. Don't remember the calc. Like I said, it's been a week since I've played this game, but, whatever. Fight me. Side Shock and Hyper Voice hit everything else pretty hard. Obviously, getting rid of Nidoking, getting rid of Weavile and stuff like that. Just hitting Zapdos hard and stuff like that. Hyper Voice two-shots Cobalion if he doesn't go for Iron Head, which I'm sure I'll go for Iron Head in my life anyway, before that even matters. But next up, we have Webster, our Araquanid, with the Waterium Z. So no Mana Fee, unfortunately. Could not bring, or did not bring, rather. I could have brought it, just didn't. The moves are Liquidation, Leech Life, Magic Coat, and Sticky Web. Sticky Web's actually pretty cool. It will still allow Victini to outspeed stuff after its first V-Create, so that could be nice. And then Liquidation obviously just hits really hard, plus being coupled with Waterium Z if I really need to kill something. Leech Life there just to get life back. It only really hits the Espeon and the Weavile. Nothing else really cares about taking that on his team. I mean, there's stuff it hits neutrally, but in most cases, I'd rather click Liquidation against those, but... The Magic Code just there for mind games. The Spadef Invest I have allows me to live one Life Orb Thunder from Galvantula and then kill potentially with Liquidation. I think I kill after rocks with Liquidation, so there is that. And last but not least, we have Zap Squatch, our Electivire. With the Life Orb this week, the moves are Ice Punch, Earthquake, Thunder Punch, and Volt Switch. Volt Switch just there for Switch Initiative, makes for a good Volt Turn core with Victini, so that's nice. Get them switches. 151 speed again for Timid Nidoking. Or Jolly if he wants to run Physical Nidoking. Physical Nidoking's underrated. I like Physical Nidoking. We have Thunder Punch there. It hits, those water types. Earthquake's there for, Nidoking as well as the Marowak. I keep forgetting his team. I don't know why. I just keep forgetting what's on his team. And then Ice Punch hits Zapdos harder than Thunder Punch and stuff like that. So that's the team. Let's go ahead and get into the battle now, guys. I'll see y'all there. Alright, so getting into the battle, first thing that I notice is that this man did not bring Cobalion, and that is a huge, huge sigh of relief to me. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with the plan that I had earlier, and that is getting up rocks immediately, because like I said earlier, getting them up secures a couple of huge, very important KOs, most notably on Zapdos. So yeah, like I said, we're going to go ahead and get our rocks up turn 1. So that means we are in fact going to be leading with our 2%, our Miltank, looking all shiny and beautiful. I love shiny Miltank, it just looks cool. As he just goes ahead and leads with Parker, his Galvantula. What the? Okay. Blame Austin for that. I can't fix it. It's a recording thing. It just happens. Anyway, so he's just going to get the webs up turn 1 as I just decided to go ahead and get up my rocks up. Like I said, the only hazard removal he has on his team is Zapdos. And if all goes to plan, it has to, take rocks to defog rocks since I have him up already. And I can just bop it with a V-Create if I need to get rid of it later. So he's going to go for a Thunder, which actually does a decent amount as he reveals a Life Orb, not being Focus Sash. I halfway expected him to switch out into something like Marowak or Sylveon here, but he decides to just stay in as I go for my Toxic. So I get the Toxic off on the Galvantula, which isn't like the most high value to, so to speak, Toxic target, but it's it's fine. Here I realize he's probably just like the standard set, so he doesn't really have anything to hit Excadrill. I looked at his thing name and I forgot the actual name. He doesn't really have anything to hit Underminer with, so I just go right into it. The only thing he could have is HP Fire, but even that didn't do more than half, so able to get in on the Thunders. He just goes for that, and he is just gonna go for the Hidden Power here and reveal that it is in fact Ice, so it's doing basically nothing to me through the Assault Vest, which is exactly why I said I wanted Assault Vest to take hits like that, just to sponge hits like that better, and it's working out perfectly. Go ahead and spin away the webs. As he could have, just go ahead and set him up again, but he's gonna die to Rapid Spin plus Toxic next turn, so I could have just clicked that again if I needed to. Anyway, he just goes for another HP Ice, and then is gonna go down to the Rock Slide here, so picking up the kill on the Galvantula early is nice. Don't have to worry about webs anymore. Don't have to worry about a potential Bug Buzz on my, what's it called? Gardevoir. So he goes into Nidoking here, and I'm the way he went into it so aggressively, I'm sort of thinking he's Scarf, so I switch out to Scout that, and I just go right into my Araquanid because I eat up an Earth Power. And he does just go for Earth Power, and looking at the calc, and that was more than likely Life Orb damage, so I I'm able to, you know, see that he's bluffing the Scarf as he just switches out here into Thunderburb, which I'm pretty sure is the Zapdos, obviously, because it's a Thunderburb. I get it. Well played. Here, I just decide to fire off a Liquidation, because it does a ton of damage to Nidoking. It kills it outright. And, you know, it does solid damage to the rest of his team, whatever he wanted to bring in, aside from, of course, Vaporeon. And it actually does a ton to this thing. So much so that I want to click Hydro Vortex here and finish it off, but I'm an idiot and forgot to put the Z Crystal on. You know, it happens. It's gonna happen again. You know, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. That's the sort of person I am. I forget to put Z Crystals on. I'm glad it happened in week 1. And it wasn't in like a huge, like really important situation. But here, after he goes for Roost again, I just decided to switch right back into Underminer because I don't want him to go down to another, or don't want him to go down to a Thunderbolt. And you know, he just does go for the Thunderbolt, and you know, it doesn't obviously hit me. So here, I am just gonna go for the Rock Slide to try to get as much damage off on this thing as possible. As it actually turns out that I am faster than his Zapdos. And luckily for me, I get the flinch, but let me go ahead and say why it doesn't really matter. Obviously, I 2-hit KO'd anyway. The only way it matters is if he got like I think it's 15 or it's 10 or 20% burn on Heat Wave. If he would have got the burn, it might have mattered. But even then, I live Heat Wave with Assault Vest. It has 45 to 52 max or something like that. There's no way it kills. And even if he did get the burn, I'm pretty sure another Earthquake from that range, or another Rock Slide from that range still kills even through burn. I know he's not Scarf because he found out he was bluffing earlier from the roll on my Araquanid, and I'm just gonna Earthquake the Nidoking. I'm not falling for your Scarf bluff again, and down the Nidoking goes. So Excadrill is putting in the finest of work early on in the PBL this season. And he's just going to go right on into a Scald spamming Vaporeon, which is obviously not the matchup that I want here, so I'm just going to go into Webster as a water type just to eat the Scalds for days. As well as I just want to get a Webster so I can ensure that my Victini outspeeds everything after Sticky Webs. After one V-Create, I still outspeed everything. I don't know why I decided to do this, because the only thing that V-Create hits that he has left is Sylveon. But hey, you know, I get webs up. They're cool, right? Probably should have just gone for Leech Life here to get damage. Because, as you'll see here in the next few turns, most of the rest of this battle actually, that this Vaporeon is actually really annoying. It's just really fat because it's a Vaporeon, so I'm just going to go into 2%. Knowing that I can, you know, just take hits from this thing all day. Don't have to really worry about anything other than a Scald Burn, but the main reason being I wanted to get a Toxic off on this thing. Just to start wearing it down a little bit. Even if he is, you know, Heal Bell or whatever, I could, you know, I could Toxic Scald this if I absolutely need to. Or just, you know, let my, what's it called, go down, my Miltank go down, and then get a free switch into my Bolt Striking Victini. Something like that. I just don't want to switch Victini hard into a hit because it did a little too much for me to, you know, be comfortable with. I don't know. And Bolt Strike's not a guaranteed KO, so I just wanted to get it in range for sure, Bolt Strike, before I went into Victini. But it actually just turns out that I just sit in front of it forever, and it just racks up poison damage, and he never clicks Heal Bell, funnily enough. I guess he didn't have it, or he just really wanted to finish off my Miltank. I'm not sure. But hey, we're just gonna, it's another couple turns, so you know, I don't really have much else to say about this. It's just, I start spamming Earthquake after my milk drink, and he's just gonna keep scalding me until my Miltank goes down. Because I'm not gonna click milk drink again because I don't have to. I'm gonna click Toxic on the turn that he Heal Bells. Or on the turn after he Heal Bells, even if I'm low, just so I can keep, you know, the residual damage on it from, of course, Toxic. Because at this point, it's starting to rack up so much that, you know, it's just, yeah, there's no point in Heal Belling. It's in range of Bolt Strike after pretty much every turn now, so. And like I said earlier, I don't want to go hard into Victini just because I didn't. I could have gone hard into Victini at any point from here on, but I never did. At some point, he does finally get a burn. It's right there, yeah. He finally gets the burn on this turn, which, I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point. I'm just sacking this thing off. Someone count how many skulls that man used and didn't get the burn. 30%, right? I mean, you know. Feels bad, but hey, that's Pokemon. Really, why you gotta get up and open doors when I'm recording? It's midnight, man. Come on. Nah, I'm messing around. But yeah, I'm just gonna, click another Earthquake. I'm gonna go down to the Skull this turn finally, which he is actually also gonna go down to toxic damage. So the cancer part of the video is now over. If you guys got bored, I understand. If you clicked out of the video, I understand. But come back now. You can come back. The Vaporeon's dead. My Miltank's dead, and we get a double free switch here. I go into my Electivire because it can hit both Pokemon he has left hard, and Volt Switch on the other thing, on the Sylveon if I need to. And it just goes into the Marowak here, and my Earthquake, Life Orb Earthquake, just kills this thing, so there's no reason not to click it, and I just click it. Click the Life Orb Earthquake, and down goes the Marowak. All he has left now is Sylveon, and I have a team of 5 Mons left, including a Steel type, being my Excadrill. Actually, can we talk about how sick shiny Marowak looks? I love the shade of purple. I don't know. I think it just looks awesome. So yeah, here's the Sylveon. I'm gonna Volt Switch here just cause I want to get, damage off and get in my Excadrill and into battle as soon as possible. Not that, whatever. I just want to, get into my Excadrill. Click my Safe Iron Head. Win this battle. Secure the dub. Don't want to do anything too crazy. Don't want to do anything silly. Just get the win. Break the mold. He does click the HP Fire here, which does actually a ton of damage, as you can see. Oh my lord, that is a lot. Okay, it was a crit. Makes sense. Anyway, I can finally click my Iron Head on this turn, and that will finish off the Sylveon and finish off the battle. The Carolina Panchams pick up the win in week 1 of season 4 of the PBL. So if you guys are excited about that, go ahead and leave a like. Like I said earlier, go down to the description, check out Dylan's channel. His battle will be up probably around the same time as this one. I don't know why this went out of full screen. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see y'all next week. Peace out.